Good morning, YouTube. I imagine this video is going to get some good hate. You lovely people. White kid. No, I guess I'm not a kid anymore. White guy telling you. White Jew. Going to tell black people why reparations is ridiculous. For you. Especially. The white Jew is very quick to advise African Americans for some reason. But they are. And they always advise them on the opposite of what they would do. So if you're having a problem in your community with like the community center letting in bad kids or whatever, and you go to the Jew and you ask him what do you think I should do, he'd be quick to tell you, go and protest or whatever. Call the management and complain to the city, call your politicians, blah, blah, blah. He'd give you all this advice about how you can complain and whine and bitch. But then if that same problem was in his neighborhood, he'd just go get his community, his church together, they'd buy the community center, and then they make the rules. And they don't have to complain to anybody or bitch, and they know that all the complaining and bitching isn't really going to go anywhere. It's just falling on deaf ears for the most part. Like, you can't complain to the owner of an establishment any more than you could complain about the owner of a house or whatever, right? Like, because I am free and I have rights, I have the right to also be an asshole. I have the right to piss you off. I have the right to aggravate you or whatever with my decisions, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have the right to whatever, be anti-gay or something. But I'm not. I'm just saying. People have those rights. People have the right to do any and make all these crazy decisions. You know what I mean? Anyway, so when that white Jew tells the African American to go for reparations, you got to sniff at that and think why. Well, you got to. We're all starting to figure out that Jesus was black. Right? So they hid who the people were. But there's also a people missing that nobody seems to talk about. Esau is missing. Right? So it stands to reason that that's your brother. That's Esau. So that's how you got to look at this. This is two siblings fighting that don't get along. They hate each other. Okay? So And this sibling, the African American, is the naive and nicer, and thinks better of the other sibling because they know. You tend to judge people based on what you would do. So if you're a thief, you're going to be worried about everybody being a thief because you would steal from them. So why wouldn't they steal from you? So you're going to judge based on that. So Jacob is a really good people. So they're going to judge based on what they would do to their brother. Right? So they're going to look at it like, oh, I'd never do that to my brother. I can go to my brother for advice. And he's going to advise me very well. Because that's what I would do. I'm very sincere. Esau's the other way. He's the bad brother who he wants to stay on top. He's about greed and money. Right? So he's going to advise badly. So when he says go for reparations, what's essentially happening is God told you, if you fuck up, I'm going to punish you, and I'm going to use your brother to punish you. Or people. Doesn't matter if it's your brother particularly, but I'll use people of the world, in order to punish you. And the other curse is that when you're in punishment, Esau, your brother, will be in leadership, right? So Esau wants to keep you down. Now, if you think about that as your own two kids, if you grounded your kid and you said, all right, you both did your chores, but you went and broke curfew, so I'm giving your allowance to your brother as a punishment. And then you leave the room, and the older brother says, I want my allowance from you because I did my chores. You owe me that allowance. Or you owe me to do my chores. How do you get my money? That's mine. I want my reparations. But if Dad came back into the room, would you still say that? That's what reparations are. That's why you don't need to ask for them. See, if you go and please Dad the way the rules are set up on this earth, if you please the Father, you will live in the dew of heaven. Or the dew of the earth, sorry. Will blossom for you. It will live around you. If you don't, then your brother will get it by the sword. So that's why you got to stop asking for reparations and go to church and ask for a blessing. It's a blessing for me to give you money as a blessing because you're the people of God. Reparations doesn't have to be any part of it. I've already proven that over the last year. I give to a Black Hebrew church every week and every month, and I get blessed for it every time. And if I give extra, I get extra, even though I don't expect it. I don't want it. I'm just looking for a place to bless, to give to God, to put my tithes and offerings. And I wanted it to be Hebrew, real Hebrew. So anyway, and I get blessed for it like crazy. So you don't need to ask for reparations. You can ask for blessing because you're Jacob. And you're not understanding who you are. You don't understand how special and how wonderfully made and how we're all the same. And you were actually like meek into other peoples or whatever, but God loves that. He loves the down dog. And not that you were down in any of talent. Obviously, you're the people that we watch. You're all the talent. We're not watching Italians box. We're not watching white guys play football or basketball. Canadians invented basketball, but there's not a lot of Canadians that play it anymore. Anyway, I hope I didn't step on anybody's toes, really. And that you received my message well. And I'll just say it, flat earth rocks.